bring to you 4 milestones of our company, 4 things I think entrepreneurs should always seek, another 4 things you should always avoid, and 4 big questions anybody that want to be entrepreneur should have in their minds. Let's go. My first milestone was my wedding and my family. I got married with 21 years old, and with 25 years old, I had 3 girls. So I'm really an entrepreneur. What? Necessity? Yeah. That's not an option. You have to do it. Okay. And just back one second. This is in Argentina, and in Bariloche we took the picture, and we didn't take the dog. They rent for pictures there. Okay, just to tell you. Okay, go ahead. Our second milestones was this contract. This hydroelectric company, they make energy. It's very big in Brazil, and that was back 1992, and we had to start taking care of their employees all over Brazil, and that was a very big challenge we had, so we made a big network to take care of them. Okay, the third one was in 2001. We had at that time 7 offices in Brazil, and we made a partnership with that company. It's a healthcare company, and we moved from 7 to 14. We began 2002 with 14 offices in Brazil. And the fourth milestones, it was back in March 2003 when I became an Endeavor entrepreneur, and that changed me a lot. That's why I'm here. Okay, let's go. Okay, what entrepreneur should always seek, in my opinion? I don't know if that's true. Professor Locke, you correct me afterwards. Okay. Challenges. I have in my office, I have a picture like that, and the big difference is if you see a stumbling block as a stepping stone, it's much easier. A lot of people would go up in front of stumbling blocks, just go back and not look for anything else. To have clear goals and focus, and to tell you this, I brought what I got last Sunday on New York Marathon, 4 hours, 29 minutes. That's to be a focus. Okay. And my people in our office, they know if they want to talk any project, if they don't bring how much would cost, how long it will take, we'll never talk about this. Okay. Third, control panel, double N, sorry. But we have, now we are working, we have almost 200 people working with us there, and we have every Monday morning, 7:45 p.m., a meeting with all the departments, and once a month, we have a very big panel, like a lot of information in different areas, and with that, I can see what's going on in our company. What I mean with this is to grow, you cannot just let things go. You have to take control and grow in your business. We call that measuring smiles. And the fourth thing I think you should always seek is professionalism, and we got that with a quality certification, ISO, last year. And I started my business with my wife, and now we are changing a lot, and we are really going to a professionalism more and more every day. Okay. 4 things I think you should avoid always. Saying it's enough. That picture was my second clinic, and when I got that, I thought, if I get one more client, it will be enough for me, because then I would make a couple dollars more, and that would be enough. At that time, I was seeking for that client, and now we are keep growing. So if you want to be really entrepreneur, you never say it's enough. Another thing, it's not to depend on something or on somebody or on some client. If you have only one client or a very big client, you're in trouble if they have problems. So we try to get a middle market, and nowadays we have almost 1,000 companies we work for. So we are very easy. If we lose 1 or 10, it's not good to lose. In 15 years, we lost less than 5% of all the companies we work for. Spending too much. Makoto, I put your card there. So if you want to grow a business, you have to take control of the money. And when I first opened my second office, that was in Rio de Janeiro, 1996, I used to go to Rio every week by bus on, how do you call leito, that you sleep on it? Okay. I would leave São Paulo 12 a.m. and get in Rio at 6 a.m. and work all day and have dinner with some clients in Rio and get another bus at 12:40 actually, in Rio, go back to São Paulo, go to my room, to my house, take a shower, and go take care of my patients all Friday. And I did that every 15 days, sometimes every week. So nowadays, we have to control the money of the company. That's very important. And when people say that you are growing, they try, oh, no, now they can spend more. Be careful. Losing the quality. For people who is from Brazil, who are going to Brazil, you have to choose that green team whenever you go there. That's my team, okay? And our biggest rival is this one. That's the bad one. That was a 4-0 winning, important in our life also. Okay, go ahead. And to end, 4 big questions I think we should always have in our minds. First, what we want to do. So this was very beginning, 200 units, you don't understand, but only 10,000 members. We have 160,000 members now in Brazil. And if you see this paper, we want to show people that we were a strong company, and at that time nobody would do that. Now we are number 5 in our business in Brazil. The other 4 are very much bigger than us, with banks behind them and private equity funds. And so at that time we want to show the market we want to be a company, a strong company. And if we go back in 1997, we put in our mission to become and to maintain as a leader in our business. And that's what we are doing right now. Okay. Second question, why to do things? This was in those are, how do you call that? Newsletters. And Paulo is from Endeavor Brazil, so he understands that. Okay, those are newsletters we put in, that was 1998. One of our other company, another company that is in our business, was bought by a private equity fund. And we realized we had to grow, otherwise they would swallow us. So we moved it to a new building, and we started to a new house, that's what they say there, and to keep growing, to not be too small in comparison with the other company. Okay. Third, and the very important question for me, is when to do something and how much you want to spend it. You can do anything you want, but how much will cost? And how much will cost that for the health, economic health of your company? Is that okay with you? You have to be comfortable all the time with that question and the answer. And the last one is, what's the next step? We are planning now to go to Chile. There is somebody from Chile here, Makoto told me. Okay. Oh yeah, New York? Okay. Yeah. Don't tell them your time, because it's probably better than mine. We are just all together in this, okay? But we are planning to go to Chile next year, and we are talking to a group in Chile to become our partner there. And that's why I said we have to know how much we spend. We could go by ourselves, that's an option still, but we want to think what's the best way to do it, okay? Next. So, what I told you, 4 milestones, 4 always seek, 4 avoid always, and 4 big questions. And that's not a coincidence, of course, because that's my lucky number, and that's our telephone number there in Brazil. And once, wait a minute, and once to be coherent, how do you say? Coherent. Okay, I brought some toothbrushes, and I'll give to the person who is in the 4th seat of every row. Each side, you can, like here, it will be only the one. So that would be your luck seat after this, okay? And that's what I would like to tell you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all 3 of you.
All of you, we have you.
All right, great. There's supply for everyone. Let me just put it in a little context before we open it up to the discussion. So what we had was entrepreneurs from 3 different countries that had very different constraints in them. If you think about Argentina and its experience economically in the last several years, we know that it's not been very favorable, but somehow out of this difficult context, and in a particular sector, which is very important to those difficulties, they were able to come up with a very interesting product that not only responded to their domestic difficulties, but because of it, were able to launch abroad. Then we have Brazil, which I don't know if it goes like this or this, but maybe just sort of up and down, which in a very turbulent situation, but also responding to this incredible gap between this supply of dentists and then the demand, sort of a quite limited domestic demand. How do you grow it, not only domestically, but also abroad? And then Uruguay, which is sort of squeezed in between these 2 larger countries, and interestingly enough, using the constraints of space to come up with or reinvent a traditional product in a new way. And I think we want to hear more about these. I heard many, many things, but let me just sort of highlight 4 things that I think are important. Number 1 is the importance of context. I think that it's no mistake that the innovative businesses that we just heard about, innovative sometimes reinventing something traditional, other times coming up with a truly interesting new software, other times thinking about how do you deliver a service in an interesting way, came out of the kinds of opportunities and constraints of the environment. I think we heard it in terms of the experiences of space, the difficulties in Argentina, and then this mismatch between supply and demand in dental services in Brazil. I think the second thing that I heard, at least, was the importance of customers, actually several lead customers. It's true not to become overly dependent on them. But what was interesting is that in each of the cases, we heard brand names or the importance of once we got this, then we had this customer, and then we grew at actually quite an important next level. So I think that that would be something to hear more about. What role do these customers play? How can they help fledgling companies, especially in a situation where capital is not only scarce, but when available, incredibly expensive? How do these customers play a role in company learning, company capitalization, and development of markets? I heard very clearly a third point, which is the incredible commitment of the entrepreneurs. I mean, not just sort of traveling all the time or, you know, sort of, I mean, sleeping in buses, you know, back and forth. I would have hated to have been like the last patient on Friday afternoon after you slept on the bus, but we can hear about quality control later in the question and answer. But an incredible amount of commitment, personal commitment, and a commitment to the business, a real vision, and what the sacrifice. These are clearly very talented people. They could have done a very traditional corporate or professional career. What was it about them, about their commitment, about their vision, that allowed them to try to do something new and stick with it, fortunately for all of them, in a successful way? And I think the fourth theme that I heard a lot was the importance of learning to grow. Not just learning how to develop a business, but learning to grow in a way that made sense for the business, especially when capital is scarce, but even when it's not scarce, how to actually use how do you grow in a particular way that makes sense for you, for your capabilities, for the business, for the timing. This learning to grow, learning to develop capabilities over time was a fourth theme that I heard cutting across all three presentations. Why don't we open it up for questions from all of you? I'm sure we have three incredible people visiting us. I'm sure that there are all sorts of questions that you might have. And we have to use mics. So, questions? And if you could just introduce yourself for our guests.
My name is Andrés Mendoza Peña. I'm from Argentina. First of all, I'd like to thank you, all three, for being here. I think it's great for us to learn firsthand from you. And my question goes for Germán and Alejandro. I was listening to you, and you both went to the international markets. And thinking from the perspective of an Argentinian, I think that it would be very hard to convince people from Europe or US about the kind of services or the products that you can deliver. And I would like to learn more about this process and if some contacts or some clients help you in doing that.
So building credibility, that's really key.
Well, one thing that helped us a lot is that our clients in Argentina were the most important banks worldwide, like Citibank, ABN AMRO, Santander, or BBVA. So that kind of companies have global standards. So if you can match a standard in Argentina, probably you can match the same standard abroad. That's why we were very we were very fuertes, strong enough to go abroad and convince them that we can give them the same quality of service. There is one important thing that is very hard in the expansion process, and that's the cultural issue. When you go to Spain or to US and say that your main software factory is in Argentina, and I understand it's very hard to understand how Argentina is giving us or is going to give us a good standard of service. But in the software industry now comes out a lot of standards like CMM methodology or ISO, and that help us to show them that, well, it could be the same in Argentina than in those countries, than in India, that is very the software factory model is very popular.
Other questions? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you want to hear?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Nobody from Uruguay out there, except Sebastián. No. Okay. They say Uruguay is a province of Argentina, but it's the most beautiful. I say to them, and you should check that out. Okay. Our situation is completely different. It's we just landed in Germany with the first prototype of Hidden Bed. I think that before going to Germany, I had traveled quite a lot for the 8 former years from going to Germany. So I think that I had a good personal feeling with different people that just came there, and we started talking, and they liked the idea. Yeah, it was 100% based on just how you say, an informal meeting that we just had a good feeling together. People that were interested in starting a business. Actually, in Europe, we have activity in 7 countries. 4 of them are only under one company, and I met this person in Germany. And he was looking to start a furniture business, so he immediately liked the idea. I think that I had a big advantage in that this product made you all clap your hands. I mean, yeah. So the people that saw it really got some of them, many of them don't have a clue of the potential for doing business with that. But I think that basically, and in the other parts of the world, pretty much the same, I think. Showing a good carrot and painting it a lot with orange color because maybe it was a bit yellow at the beginning, but making it look better than it was. My first idea was that our web page is the building of the company, as if it was in the 50s. Yeah. So I said we have to spend a lot of money, like $500, in making a wonderful web page, yeah, as good as possible with very limited resources. And that was equivalent, when the people checked the website, to having a several $million building in New York City, because it's what people check today. You can work in the underground with a laptop, but if you have a good web page, you are in a much better position than a huge company with a bad website. So I think that it was causing a good impression, creating trust, yeah, that you would do what you're promising, yeah, even though later many difficulties come. But if you have a good intention and they see that, you will probably get help from many people, like Endeavor, for example.
Hello, my name is Ansgar. I am from Germany, and I have a question to you, Alessandro, concerning the Hidden Bed project. The way you presented it, I was very impressed that you start the company on a one product idea, but then again, this also frightened me a bit, as in okay, so where is this going to develop? Because one of the things we always learn here at MIT is you have to have a product, and then you have to have a rough idea how you're going to develop this into the future once you covered a lot of markets. So I wonder what your take on this is. What's your take on this though? What's your plan? So what's the next thing from Hidden Bed as a company, as a product then?
Okay, yeah. I was invited by Richard to say more about the beginnings of the company. So that's why it may look very raw up to now. We are starting to try to do things in a more standard way, let's say, like having a good business plan and raising VC capital. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm here. We are, I mean, all this began, the prototype was in January 2003. Yeah, and the first real sales were like 1 year ago. So we are running more or less on schedule with other companies that have a project, and they look for certain kinds of capital in different stages. My vision is quite open for the future. We think that we can exploit a lot the facts that have already happened. Like, for example, someone started to infringe the patent, and we run for them with good lawyers, so they just scared away. And that they promised to come with an excellent alternative that would just kick us out of business, and that happened, but they never sold a piece of this alternative. So these are facts that you can take note and say, this thing is really strong, and there is an incredible opportunity. And even so, if it was not exactly like that, you have the advantage of starting first, yeah, of having the drive, of having the conviction where you want to go, and it's also a capital that you can exploit.
Hi, my name's Debbie Fries. I'm from the Boston area, so welcome. My question's actually also for Alejandro, and it's a little bit related. I was wondering, it seems as though your product idea was born from something that was going to be useful based on your experiences. And then I'm wondering how you went about researching whether or not this would actually be a profitable business, and what types of customer segments that you would target with your product.
Yeah, so once again, the first question was?
The first question is, how did you go about researching whether this would actually be a profitable business?
Good question. Actually, when we went to Germany, we had not sold a single unit yet. even nowhere. Yeah, we just went. We had no promotion at all, so we didn't have any clue. We just took the risk. We thought that it would hit quite well the market, and it did, but we could not respond very well at the beginning. Yeah. So the second question was? Yeah, if you saw the different models that we have, these were ideas from different furniture manufacturers that wanted to point towards a certain kind of end consumer. And the third one, no, that's all. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Nicholas. I'm coming from Brazil, and this question is to Luis. It's actually two questions. The first one, how did you finance your business? And the second question is why you are targeting other countries when you have a so big market in Brazil?
Okay. We develop our business with the money made out of the business. It's much different than nowadays. There were no market at that time, so I made money in my office, my dental office, and I could take care of the last patient, Professor Locke, in Friday night, okay. But I had another job, so I was putting money, making money in the office and in the new clients, and that's organic growing, okay. Why to go out of Brazil? Once we are working already in a lot of places in Brazil. There is a lot to grow, but we think if we go to Chile, we have an opportunity with Endeavor Chile, and once we get into Chile, we can go to other countries in South America. So it would be a good driver to grow in other countries, and it's much less competitive than in Brazil. Now, I didn't tell you, but in Brazil now we have almost 450 players in our market. So the prices are going down, and a lot of it's too hard to make money, real money there. So we are looking to other countries with better market.